What's up, guys? How you doing?
They're going great.
You're by a pool, so jealous of you on that.
Yeah, it's our second day off in a row, which is like the first of that for the tour. So yeah, much of the boys went out on a boat in the Gulf, and that's what you do on your day off when you're on the road, I guess.
For sure. Where are you guys? Where's the tour at? Where are you at?
We are in Florida right now. I think we're hitting Fort Myers tomorrow. Yep.
Gotcha.
Definitely. I mean, it's Florida's hell out here, man.
Yeah, I just had to walk through a big puddle of snow slash water, so my feet are all wet and I'm cold. And looking at you, I'm so sorry. I'm thrilled to be looking at you. So
he is pretty glorious, isn't he?
Yeah. So you guys just released like a EP. I think this is a really interesting way of going about releasing music. Instead of just doing singles at a time, you're releasing like 4 songs at a time for the new album that came out in I guess January. Sorry about that. But it's cool to see the rollout, and it's been a real long time. How does it feel to get some new music into people's ears?
I mean, I kind of like this way of releasing a record. At first I was like, no, everyone must hear it all at once, but we were talking the other day about how, so now that we're playing shows after some of these songs have been out for 6-7 months, slow rollout like that, it's kind of cool because they're singing the songs, and there's songs that are like, some of them are just kind of like B-sides.
Mm-hmm.
So you work so hard on these records, these songs, like it gives a chance for them to, I don't know, you're forced to appreciate the song because you don't have anything else to listen to yet from the record. You know what I mean?
And like you said, it's been a minute since we've been out doing it. So it kind of helped us gain some ground, some momentum, and kind of get the wheels rolling again. So it's been a cool little process. The new record does come out March 11th. And, I'm pretty excited about it.
So it has been a while since you guys have you released stuff. What have you been doing since the last time we saw you guys?
Making babies, taking kids to soccer practice, like normal stuff.
Sure.
It's we took a year off to make a record without realizing that we were going to take another 2 years off because the world sucks. It's been 3 years. It definitely wasn't anticipated, but I think we all the one positive we can take away from it is we all really needed a break to realize how much we love playing. You know what I mean?
And to get creative again,
Yeah.
What kind of things did you do? Did you find were helping in that creative process? What was was there any aha moments, or maybe you went on a trip, you saw your kid take their first step or something like that, something inspired you to get back into creating music?
I mean, we made the process more difficult than it needed to be too, because there was a lot of starting and stopping. So we had to rejuvenate. We had to restart the creative process every time. We had to hit the creative wall, the creative block as well, and then supersede that through. Usually the best thing for me personally helps break through some of those creative barriers is listening to music, listening to all music, and it just kind of it just puts you in that mind frame of music making. You know what I mean? So watching great movies, watching film, just being around art in general, I think helps kind of feed that fire.
Yeah, I just got done talking to Braun from Mastodon, and he actually had that exact same answer when he said that. I was like, "What is it like to when you like sit down? And you're like, I gotta work on music." And he said, "I watch a lot of movies." And so he kind of makes his music like that. What kind of films are you guys diving into? And also you said music, so what type of tunes are you listening to that are sparking that energy for you?
Well, I mean, everything from, I mean, like everything from Mastodon, actually, funny enough, because their guitar work is kind of almost experimental.
Yeah.
And so, like anybody who's not doing things in a traditional manner like that, uh, you know, sometimes, like, for instance, Mastodon, uh, a band that's like, those guitar harmonies sometimes shouldn't work, like from a music theory standpoint, but they do. You know what I mean? Because it, even though so sometimes they're so dissonant, it's emoting, the tension that you're trying to see in your mind. Um, so anything like, and sometimes, it's like you see things as, you see sound as color,
Yeah.
or as scenes that play out like your own little personal movie in your head, right? So you're kind of like you're directing a film. At least we do that. We try to be as cinematic as possible, with our sound. So it's almost like we're directing film in our head, these little miniature movies for each one of these songs. I don't know if that answered your question, but that's really what helped spark the keep the juice flowing.
Sure.
That's really interesting. I love hearing how the creative process starts and goes. What kind of um I don't want to say like what were you working through to get to the creative part, but like, what type of message were you working through and trying to deliver with this new record?
It depends what you're talking about, really. Every song is kind of its own little thing, its own little, has its own vibe.
Yeah, I mean, like Bird Dog is a completely dark, super cinematic song that's just kind of, has these ambient sounds and drones going on in the background that already sets up a tension before the song even kicks in. And that's, like, for instance, that particular song's about just the deindustrialization of middle America, well, really all of America, and just like how these towns are built around these particular industries, whether that be railroad. I have a lot of river towns, so it's a lot of like barge work and stuff like that that have kind of dried up. And so there's like this weird desperation uh, in these towns, and a lot of, and you tend to have these opiate pandemics and stuff like that go on in these towns and kind of drag you down. But then there's songs that are just, basically love songs like Flatline, that nobody's heard yet till the record's out. But Voices, the one that's out now of us, that's just, that particular song is just about those internal struggles, and then how you rise above that, and just like, those little demons, they don't, you wind up going, you putting yourself through hell, and those little demons, they don't live there with you in that hell. um you know so that's, so each song has its own little, each song deserves its own little message, I guess.
It's interesting you bring up the river towns. I used to live in a city called La Crosse, Wisconsin, out
Mhm.
on the western edge, right on the Mississippi. And I've like when I moved to that town, I had like there was a feeling in the town of like there di- there feels like there should be more going on, but there wasn't.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like how do you dive into like that it's like like a sonicness of nothing, and like so you're drawing from that. Where in the country are you, like, I guess, I mean, that is everywhere. How do we pull ourselves out of this?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the those little towns. It's almost like it's a ghost of what it was. You know, it's like it's not fully, because they're still surviving with the mentality. People that live in those towns are still surviving with mentality. Uh, they go through their day, like everything's built around these small little industries. So mentally they're like still thinking they have to live that particular way, but it's gone. So I mean, and that's, people do whatever they have to do. Where we're from is you have a lot of farming communities, that you have a lot of farmers that have been 4, 5, 6 generation farmers. The banks are coming to snatch those things up because they miss, or companies like Monsanto that have them in these crazy contracts that they sell their seeds and stuff, and they can't go heirloom or anything like that, or change their contracts, and they're losing these farms, and they're going to do whatever they have to do to feed their families. That's just the thing when you have that responsibility. I mean, whether that be criminal or not, you're going to wind up. And then unfortunately, the side effect is you just have a town of walking zombies.
I don't know if you've, like, I've been around rock, like, in the industry for about a decade now, and it feels like there are some times, and mostly in the recent time, I guess, that there are some bands, and maybe there's like some songs that you hear that almost feel like that, like what you're talking about with how, like, well, we're just going through the motions, almost like you're there but you're not there. um but there also seems like a great hope in music, in our genre, that we appreciate. Who do you, or how do we, like, refocus our lives to be more like centered and I know rock music can do so much because it's such a vast genre and stuff, but um man, have you ever run into a band or experienced anything in the music industry that kind of feels like that?
Well, the guitar solo voices is like all the hope you could ever want. Like that, just your hope. I mean, that just breathes hope. So, I think throughout the record, there's a lot of different emotion, but the heartache, but the triumph at the same time, and it's like just moments like that it kind of just grabs you, uplifts you a little bit.
There's a lot of bands, that there's, I mean, look, I mean, there's a lot of, there's a formula there,
Mm-hmm.
And good for them, that's just kind of their move, and that's cool. I think when you write a song and you perform it with true intention of losing yourself in the song, true intent of like full passion in what you're doing, just like what art's supposed to, I mean, it's any art. Rock and roll just happens to be pretty guilty of not doing that lately, but it's a funny game, because, like, for instance, he brought up the guitar solo and voices, and a lot of people are like, well, you can't have a 45-second, 30-second, whatever, however long that guitar solo is, in radio. You know what I mean? But like that, then that would be like killing the soul of the song, that particular song. So, because that's where a lot of the passion in the music in that particular song is. So, I just think that there's not a lot of intent when which is a shame, because rock and roll is founded on just like, for me, I always thought of it as the most pure, raw form of passion there is in music. It's just that it's like it's naked. The passion is naked and it's easy to see. There are plenty of bands that perform and write and with the intent of they don't try to cookie cut it. And I think the thing it's everyone is to blame. Everybody in the industry is to blame for the watering down of rock and roll. And I think we're the ones accountable for making it mean something as well. So that's the uplifting message, is that it can be have purpose.
That is an uplifting message. The world lacks purpose a lot, and I can feel that. All right, well, next week, 7 days from today, you're releasing your new album, and it's going to be all over the place, man. For your hard, the heavy stuff and the love songs and things. I got to tell you, our audience freaking loves your songs. So I hope that when it becomes sunny and not snowy up here, you guys can make a stop and we can grab a beer or something.
We'd love that.
Yeah, that's it, man. We're old now, so we tour the North in the summer.
You're smart. That's what you are.
You're
not old. You're
guys.
smart.
Yeah, that's right. You don't get older, you get smarter.
Yeah.
We will be seeing you guys at Rockfest too.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty awesome. So I was just looking at that. I forgot that that's like in the middle of nowhere, which I love that. I love that.
It is the middle of it's a big open thing. Like you're surrounded by farm fields. It smells like cow shit every now and again, but it's
perfect. We'll be right at home then.
Perfect. Well, thanks for your time today, guys. Look forward to seeing you in the warmer months. All right.
All right, dude.
Awesome, brother. Take care.
Yep. We'll see you.